sparked the rivalry a little bit in July last year. Was quite excited at the conclusion of the match and made some big saves up in Rhode Island and let the fans know it. Explained his full anatomy in the process.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tie Talk, the Rhode Island FC podcast for the fans, by the fans. We will not be showing off Anthony Siaha's full anatomy tonight, but I am your host, Ryan, and whether you're a day one sicko or new to RIFC, you found your home. Every episode, we're breaking down the latest from RIFC, the matches, the moments, the players, and everything happening in and around the club. Before we dive in, make sure you're following Tide Talk across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and everywhere else you scroll. Stay locked in for updates, exclusive content, and all things Rhode Island FC. If you're joining us live on YouTube, please say hi and share your thoughts in the chat. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, please take a second to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It helps us grow and bring you even better content every single week. That's right, everybody. Let's cozy up. Let's crack a beer. And let's dive into this one. Tonight, I'll be joined by Connecticut's Most Wanted, Timmy Sclafani and Andrew Quadros. Andrew, how is your Sunday?
Sunday's been good. It's been busy. Multiple soccer games, niece's birthday party. I feel like I just walked in the door like 30 minutes ago, but still buzzing from last night. So it was a good game last night to set in motion a good Sunday today.
Timmy, I think the question on everyone's mind here is, how is your wrist?
Wrist, long shift last night, but there are restorative properties when you actually end up winning the game. So I'm feeling pretty good. And unlike Andrew, I had just a full blown waist recovery day today, other than like a quick bike ride. So I'm in good shape. Thank you for asking. Thank you for worrying.
You know, Andrew, us dads here, he wouldn't get it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's not ready to put in the shift that we are.
Absolutely. So, boys, I think we'll cut right to the chase here because we have a lot to cover both on and off the pitch tonight. So, as you see, that it's me hosting tonight with Matt subbing out because we needed to get the double pivot boys on here because they put in a shift and a half alongside the rest of the traveling support to Hartford last night, and we needed to get the on the ground point of view here. So, Andrew, I'll kick it to you first, and Timmy, please chime in as well. But how was the travel down? How was, the logistics? What did we pack on the car ride? Obviously, all of us being from Rhode Island, we need to make sure we have multiple meals packed if we're going to go that far. So, how was the travel? Who drove? That's what I'm really wondering.
Timmy drove. Yeah, we battled for it. He won. He won the wank off, and.
I want to apologize to all listeners. That word is going to be used probably 3,000 times tonight. So yeah,
at least. No, the tailgate started at 5 o'clock, so we didn't really have a lot of time beforehand, and especially with other commitments and other kids' hockey games too. So we got there just for the start of the tailgate. So we took off from Rhode Island at about 3:30. So on the way to my son's soccer game, which is where I was at right before meeting up with Timmy, I made sure to go to the liquor store and grab myself some cans of Peroni that I'm drinking right now. So that was the main thing that I brought because we knew that based on our experience from last year going to this game, that RIFC staff does a pretty good job of setting up a good tailgate for us with some pretty decent food. So our food was taken care of. We just brought the drinks, and they also had free beer too, which is props to them. They hook us up pretty well. So we didn't have to pack too much. It was a nice, easy trip, 90 minutes in total. So really can't ask for much more than that. And the weather on the way there was great. Like we didn't hit rain basically until the tailgate started. So no complaints there.
Timmy, big question from the chat. How many exits did you miss?
Keep me honest, Andrew. I'm pretty sure I missed 0. I think I hit them all.
He missed 0, but at least once or twice he thought he missed one, and I had to calm him down and be like, nope, you actually took the right road.
True. I think maybe the most characteristic of me driving thing that I did was like when we got to the parking lot, I think I parked in like the furthest possible spot away from the cluster of cars where everyone was, and then continued to ask Andrew like 5 to 10 times, like, should I be moving my car closer to where all of the people are?
But it was like a 5 to 10 minute deliberation process of where to put the car. And then in the meantime, he's driving like 2 miles an hour around trying to figure out where to put the car.
Yeah. So Timmy, another big question for you. Was there butter chicken this year?
So
This is a very deep cut if you've been listening to Tie Talk
See,
from our podcast last August on our trip to Hartford.
to answer what I think you're asking, it was the same chicken fingers from last year.
They were fire.
And I have to say again, not only sensational, better than I remember last year. Like those are some good chicken fingers.
Because honestly, that was the only good thing about last trip. So the fact that you remember them, wow, that's incredible. Shout out to that.
They were so good that he was sticking his hands in the tray of
that was embarrassing.
He just went in there and just grabbed them right in front of the RAFC staff. I was disgusted.
I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. I did not realize that they were like in process of changing out trays and putting a serving fork in there. That was disgusting. That was my bad. But yeah, they did a great job. I don't know who ran the scouting, who did the Yelp research to find where they're getting this pizza and chicken fingers from, but it really is good stuff. So well done to them. Beautiful. I think this Pawtucket Jay is saying it. The only real knock on the tailgate and setup experience, and this is obviously on Hartford, not on our team. Where's the bathroom? There is no bathroom in the parking lot. There's a bush in a corner where a lot of people were going. Like that's not for me. So twice Andrew and I walked like, I don't know, half a mile to a bar down the street that was like letting people use the bathroom, which is just, come on. Give us one porta potty would be completely fine. That's crazy.
I'll be honest, this would have been my nightmare. That's embarrassing. I mean, I have to say previously they have given us at least a porta potty, to use. So that's some Bush League stuff, not to be about the piss bush, which everyone's talking about in the chat. We do have a lot of people in the chat tonight. Please keep it coming. A lot of you were at the game. We definitely want to share throughout the episode your experiences. People put in an absolute shift yesterday, including Andrew and Timmy, but we don't want them to take all the credit. So please, keep the chat alive, which I know you all will do. So, I mean, guys, going into this one, so just looking at some of the storylines. So we've seen RAFC picking up some momentum the past few weeks. They had the big win against Lexington, a strong performance against the Revs, obviously lost in penalty kicks there, and then another really big win against Charleston in the week. We did have Hartford. They're defending this title, allegedly. We did have the name change from the Prinx, from Jägermeister to Prinx, which I know we all have strong feelings about. The competition this year is slightly different. So, I mean, Timmy, going into this one, how did you feel?
So, as far as form, just on form alone, I think you had to feel really good about it. Hartford had not scored in their last 4 games. I don't think that they had won in 5. Whereas, as you just recapped, in the month of April, we hadn't lost yet in regulation. We've scored 7 goals in our last 2 league games. So on form, you had to feel really good about picking Rhode Island FC. However, it's like the oldest trope in soccer. It comes up all the time. Form doesn't matter in a derby game. So I didn't feel great about it. And obviously, we're going to talk about the lineup. I don't want to skip ahead, but any feeling good that I did have about it pretty much went away when the lineup came out.
Absolutely. How about you, Andrew?
Pretty much the same. I'm very, I don't know what the right word is, streaky with how I'm feeling about the team. Like I ride the waves, good and bad, in terms of how I think that next game is going to go.
Would you say you ride the tide?
I ride the tide.
Yeah.
That's
also not allowed. You're not allowed to have doubts about the team, or at least not if Matt Hans has anything to say about it. So I just want you to be careful about.
You can definitely draw at home against by far the worst team in the league, and you should feel good about it. That's for sure.
I enjoy being reprimanded for not being confident in the team earlier in the season, but now with the way the team was performing, knowing what Hartford's form was, I felt pretty good. Like my prediction was 3-0, and I never predict them to win. I never predict them to score multiple goals. Never mind winning by 3, but I felt good about the way each of their form. And I know that trope is the form goes out the window in a derby, which I think is largely true. But for this particular derby, it largely hasn't been true. Like if you look at the results, it's usually kept true to what the form was. So I felt good about it, but I also thought that kind of was going to treat this one like a proper derby important match, which when the lineup dropped to what Timmy's teasing, it didn't felt like that's not what he was doing in terms of how seriously he was taking that, at least to start. So I kind of got a lot more nervous when I saw the starting lineup.
Yeah, so let's go to the lineup here. So we had Koke Vegas in net with Aldair Sanchez, Grant Stoneman, Karifa Yao, and Nick Scardina out on the back line. we had Clay Holstad and Zachary Haraval returning to the lineup in your midfield. And then we had Busy, Dwayne Atkinson, Noah Fuson, Jojea Quizera, and Logan Dorsey up top. So you both have been kind of teasing your takes here, but Timmy, how'd you feel about this when you saw the
lineup? Felt not good. So we made 6 changes we used exactly the same 11 for the 3-1 win at Lexington, same 11 for the 4-0 win at home against Charleston, and then we made 6 changes. So we put in Stoneman for Diop. I'm honestly fine with that. I think Stoneman's having a really good season. Scardina in for Frank. Okay with that. Actually, I can't follow each of these with saying okay with that because it will make it too obvious which one was really the red flag for me. But yeah, Haravo was in for Hugo in the midfield. Atkinson in for Leo on the left wing. Noah came in for Pity in the 10 spot, which that's kind of the only difference from how we've been doing the rotations for the cup games is like against the Revs. We did the rotated front 3 of Atkinson, Noah, Dorsey with Pity playing as the number 10. This time we had Noah at the 10. And then I just can't beat around the bush. Like Dorsey in for JJ, it hasn't worked yet in any of the games that we've done it. That's the big red flag for me in the lineup. That's where it feels like any of the rest of these rotations you could have made in a vacuum, and I would say we're pretty much going for it with some light rotation. Like when we go Dorsey over JJ, it's I don't feel confident that we're going to score, and that kind of played out. So I didn't feel incredible about it.
Yeah. So Andrew, I'm gonna kick 2 questions to you. So first up was Matt Hands. He said 6 changes was too many. I expected 3 or 4. Did you think that 6 was too many?
Yes. What Timmy just described, none of those changes in the vacuum outside of the Logan Dorsey one, we would take issue with. The problem is when you add them all up, I take issue with it because it's like my immediate response. I was next to Timmy. We were doing one of our walks to the bathroom, and that's when it dropped. And I looked at it, and my immediate response was, "This is the B squad." Not B team makes it sound like it's a whole separate team, but if you take the core group of players that would be getting time, and say, who are the secondary players or the players that tend to be more on the substitute side as opposed to the regular starters. That's what this was. Obviously, there's core starters in there like Koke and Aldier and Clay, but a lot of these other players were rotational pieces. So there were too many for my liking for a game of this magnitude. And then speaking to the format of this tournament and the schedule that we have for this tournament, this was the most important game. A, because it's the first one, and B, because of who we're playing against. So it was too many changes for the context of what this game was, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's one thing that it has been kind of popping up in the chat, and I am sorry if there's some baby crying in the background. He is screaming up the tide. He's just trying to make it known for the folks at home. But I think the competition this year, just for everyone's awareness, there's an extra group. So last year it was the 6 group winners would go through with 2 wildcard spots. So the wildcard is decided by all of the second place teams and all the groups who has the most points. This year it is 7 group winners and then 1 wild card. So mathematically, I am just perplexed on how this is even going to be possible for someone to break through in that way. But really, when you look at our group, historically you would say that Rhode Island FC and Hartford are the 2 strongest teams in this group. So it's also not like everyone plays each other. Like we don't play the Cosmos, who a lot of people in the chat are saying look like by far the worst team in this group. So it's a bit uneven. It's not like home and away. We only play them once. So this game kind of meant a lot. But Timmy, my only pushback to you is, do you not think that Kano is kind of managing, we complained about in the beginning of the season, like if JJ gets hurt, we're kind of screwed. So how does Kano balance that, not running him into the ground in April?
Wow, you're really going to back me into a take that I had no intention of throwing out and got shut down midweek. But let me throw it out to you guys since we're talking about it. Is Logan Dorsey the best and only option as the depth lone striker, or are there alternatives that we could be doing?
Leo was in the offseason. We thought that was going to be the depth striker, and then we got Logan. But nothing Logan has showed me so far tells me that he would be a capable starter should JJ go down.
I mean, there were some people who were saying after week 1 that he should be starting over JJ. Obviously, none of us agree with that.
Crazy.
What was
Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there is one kind of behind the scenes thing we don't really know is like, what are the terms of Logan Dorsey's loan? Like, it might be his hand is forced a little bit, but I actually think in that first half, I thought he actually was showing a bit. Like, I like that he was running the channels. I like that he had some little intricate interplay moments, especially getting Clay involved, who is his doppelganger in certain ways. So I don't think he played particularly bad. Obviously, I get to say that because I watched the first half when the lineup came out, but overall, it was you would say this is like almost our cup 11. It's very similar to how we started against the Revs. So I was surprised. I really thought he was going to go with like the full kind of 11 that we've seen, as we said, the quote unquote best 11. So yeah, I mean, to me, you were about to say something before we get into the first half here.
Yeah, I quite honestly forgot what that was. I will say, I do want to be clear.
That's very convenient that you said you were being backed into a take that you didn't share, and now you're not going to share it.
No, the take was like, in my mind, there's ways you can rotate JJ and manage JJ's minutes without it being Dorsey. I do want to be clear, and I mean, I've already probably disrespected him more than I meant to. Like, I think, I'm sure Logan Dorsey's a good player. I think he works hard. I think the problem is, like, our team kind of works around JJ, and then when you put not only a different player, but a player with kind of a different profile, like, I just don't think the offense kind of works as well. So I'm not even saying that I don't.
It's the fact that when he's in, aside from maybe the opener, he's surrounded by a cast that's also with guys that are not getting regular time as starters. Like, every time JJ comes in, things have looked better, but JJ's also come in with Leo coming in, and then with Pity coming in. Like, the surrounding cast joins JJ, and then the team transforms. It happened against the Revs, and it happened now. Yeah. So it's a little bit tough to judge Logan based on the fact that he's not getting the best 11 or the best 10 behind them in the way that JJ is. But I also haven't seen him elevate and do things that tell me I want to see him play more.
That's fair. I would say last thing on the lineup is I think it's tough, though, because when you look at this list and a lot of those players who came in, and I think you guys all made this point, like, there are a lot of guys who should be thinking that they can be starters on this team, and I want to compete for those minutes. Like Noah has been a starter. I think Busy definitely seems like he has the desire to be a starter. I mean, Harabow has started on this team. Stoneman has started on this team. So, like, it kind of has to give these guys the opportunities to then prove that they can, start and be potentially part of that mix. So it's tough. It's a tough balance, and having a pretty good amount of depth in this roster is always going to make that tricky. One thing I did want to clarify before we get to the game, Derek in the chat says, it seems a little strange to get an extra point in the season standings for the cup games. No, clarifying point, Derek, is that the extra point is for the cup group itself. It's not for this has nothing to do with the USL championship. This is only for the Prinx Tire that used to be the Jägermeister Better Name Cup. So I want to make sure we are all aligned there. So this is all about the Prinx Cup here. And please, if you have other questions specifically for Timmy in the chat, I promise I will bring them up as we go. So as we get into this one, what was that?
Just a couple more really quick points. Just on the rotation thing, I don't mind. I think it's valid what you're saying, that those guys deserve time. I just don't like doing them as wholesale changes as opposed to just doing one or two when finding a way to make it work, especially since our next game is not for another week against a team that's not very strong. The other thing I want to say just on the lineup, just looking back at the highlights, I would say I wasn't there to watch the broadcast. CBS nailed the starting lineup graphic. The formation, the players in the right positions, the names, the substitutes, the coach, everything. I've never seen a perfect one before. It was great.
I mean, that is what happens when you get the kind of the big boys on the production, not the everyone ESPN that we see. But one other note, we've been showing both the RIFC beautiful graphic that they create, but also the kind of actual one information. And again, we are seeing the same formation that we have talked a lot about in our other shows. I think we all are in agreement that we love it, and obviously it is producing some pretty solid results. So very excited there. That's not helpful to go to halftime immediately. So, boys, first half, quite frankly, I think it was exactly as I expected because I read the Riptide report the pre-match lookout before the game. Shout out to Matt Hands. It was really RFC having a lot of the ball and kind of more of the attacking third, with Hartford really only finding success on the break or from mistakes. How did you see the first half, Andrew?
It seemed like two teams that were playing somewhat of a similar style of just looking to try to just not have the ball. Rhode Island felt a little bit more comfortable on the ball. Obviously, that's largely because of Hartford kind of backed them into doing it that way. But looking at the totality of the first half, it felt like there wasn't much between them. And the few chances that were created on the Hartford side. I thought Rhode Island really struggled to create much. And I think a large part of that is not having that target man, JJ, up front to free up the players around them to be able to move around. So I think that they really struggled to move the ball into dangerous areas in the field and create opportunities where they can get clean shots off. And Hartford wasn't doing a great job at that either, but I thought that they were just doing a little bit more to try to create, like they put Koke to work a little bit in the first half relative to how he didn't have to really do a whole lot. So it was kind of a weird clash between them because it felt like they were playing similarly to me and neither side was really able to get a foothold in the match.
Yeah, Timmy, what about you?
I completely agree. I mean, I thought it was a pretty relatively even first half. I didn't think either team created much. I think we had the one good Clay chance that like Noah kind of knocks the ball down in the box, lays it off to Clay, and he gets a good good shot on target. I think that gets blocked. But you could tell by the angle, like if it didn't get blocked, it was probably going in. And Hartford had they had the one chance. It wasn't Augie. I think it's Ingaina gets in behind. Yao makes the dangerous but inch perfect tackle inside the box to stop that chance. Yeah, probably play of the game. And then Koke makes one good save on a headed chance that he tips over the bar. But other than those, that one Rhode Island chance and those two Hartford chances, I don't think there was a whole lot in it. Kind of a lot of empty possession for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the things that I had written down, like one, I thought it was really interesting that Clay seemed to be getting a little more forward with Harabow in the midfield with him. So I think he had about 3 shots all around the kind of edge of the 18, which I liked. Obviously, none of them worked out. Exactly what Sarah, as well as Timmy, you brought up, like the Karifa last-ditch tackle was phenomenal. It was unfortunate that it came to that. That was a really sloppy play from Rhode Island FC, especially with a team like Hartford that wasn't really doing much unless we kind of gave them the opportunity to pounce. So really didn't like that. And then the only other thing I wrote down was I thought it was weird that Busy and Jojea switched sides like with like 4 minutes left in the half, and like they stuck to it. It wasn't like some like scramble outside of like a corner kick. So I thought that was strange, especially coming out of halftime. They went back to the sides we saw them on. So I don't know if there was something that Kano saw that he wanted to try to take advantage of, but I think as you were kind of both saying, it's like this was a half of two teams trying to kind of feel each other out. A little strange for Hartford, like that was kind of the team that's been playing for them. So a little weird that they couldn't kind of find any momentum, where I think it's a little more understandable when those kind of last second, really intricate moments like didn't go RFC's way, because this is a group that really hasn't played a ton together.
Yeah. And trying to do that against just like a packed in defense that's not giving you space to move the ball around.
Yep.
I mean, for Hartford, I would say, like, what momentum are you referring to? They haven't scored in 5 matches now. But another note. I mean, the Quizera and Atkinson, I feel like is classic Kano tinkering. He loves to flip the wings.
He did that in one of the cup games. I remember it. I can't remember if it was the Revs or what, but I remember seeing that there was some swapping that happened.
Yeah, and then I was just gonna mention as well in the attack, like. And it ends up being Noah who creates that really good chance for Clay. But I will say around, like, I want to say it was like the 30th minute, Andrew and I looked at each other. We noticed Noah make a play, like going down the right wing. And both of us were like, did Noah sub on, or has he been in the game the entire time? It's like really anonymous until that moment. But all credit to him. Like it was a really good skill to create that chance that he does for Clay. So he had a moment of brilliance, but.
I will say, if anyone from Narragansett is listening here, Joe Burns has a great idea in the chat. Narragansett needs to make Crush It Like Karifa cans to replace the Quint ones. I absolutely love that one. Andrew, what were you going to say?
To comment on your point about Clay being more advanced, Tim and actually talked about that on the ride back last night, where I did feel like he was in a more advanced position, and he made the comment of it's a little bit odd that you wouldn't think that Zachary would be the one that would unlock him to do that, particularly when he's playing with someone like Hugo, who tends to be more defensive. And I was thinking about that more, and I'm wondering, is that more of a function of that double pivot partner that he has, or is it more that Logan is up top and like that it's just a lot more of a fluid thing happening with Logan and Noah, and maybe they're just filling in spaces more because you don't have just like that target man sitting up front?
Listen, I've been team Haraval playing as like kind of if we were playing a midfield three of him being at the pivot for like a year and a half now. I just think he has like the temperament for it. I actually think Hugo, like while we were introduced to him as a center back, I think he's a very front-footed midfielder when he plays. And I actually think that's when he's at his best, is when he's like facing forward and running. Like that's actually why I've had my dream idea is to throw Hugo at right back and let him just go nuts, because I think his best moments are when he's dribbling or just running through the field, because it's like people, I almost think, underestimate his speed and like the way he can just like glide past you with his super long strides, because like people will try to go tackle him and it's like, oh shit, he's actually already a step and a half past me. So I think that's where Hugo thrives. But it could also just be game state that Clay was kind of up there. Clay's everywhere on the pitch. It's also a smaller pitch, I think, there too. So a little bit differently. But I think Tyler has a really good point here to wrap up the first half. Both sides looked heavily rotated in the first half, but only one side was, and that was RIFC. So getting to halftime, it was 0-0, as we were saying. It was a 53 to 47% possession tilted towards RIFC. RIFC had 8 shots to Hartford's 3, 1 shot on target for both teams, 0 big chances. RFC had a little bit better passing accuracy at 79%. Fouls were 5 to 4. I actually thought it was a pretty clean first half in terms of kind of fouls and things like that. And then Hartford had 3 corners to RIFC's 1. So, moving on to the second half here, I think we started to see Rhode Island FC really bring in a lot of subs, and we almost subbed towards our way to actually having like our first 11 that we all talked about. So we had Leo come on for Busy, JJ come on for Dorsey, Hugo come on for Haraval, Pity come on for Noah, and Giap come on for Stillman. This happened throughout the second half, but I think one of the big moments, as we saw when this first 11 kind of came on, this happened similar in the Revs game, where I think the game got more physical, and I think it really allowed us to dominate and win those duels again. And it really kind of led to this big moment here with JJ Williams kind of getting through-ish on goal with kind of Siaha being Siaha. Can anyone hear anything? No. So for those of you who are listening on the show, so basically there's a moment in the 69th or 70th minute in the second half where kind of JJ goes up to challenge a ball from one of the Hartford players. It continues to go through to Siaha. I think the ref, Siaha picks it up and then body checks JJ. The ref stops the game, and then kind of pandemonium ensues. And I'm just going to continue to play this because there is a really good replay here. JJ is laying down, kind of hands on his face. Siaha is standing there looking like an absolute asshole. And then kind of all the players start to get together. Koke, I was really happy to see this, comes up to talk to the ref about this. He is the captain. That's what he should be doing, because this was an absolutely, to me, egregious play. So now the ref's waving on the RFC medical staff. Siaha continuing to be an asshole. And now we have the replay here. Again, JJ going up, clean challenge there. Siaha picks up the ball. JJ's kind of just there, and then he shoulder checks JJ. As we all know, nothing happened after this. Actually, it was a drop ball that they gave to Hartford. I think it's absolutely insane. It shows how incompetent this refereeing can be in this league, especially because, the assistant referee is right there. He should be watching the ball, and the fact that he saw nothing wrong with that, I think, is insane. And I also have no idea what the center referee was doing, because he also should have been looking dead straight at that. So, Andrew, first off, I guess, what was the vibe in the stands when this happened?
Very loud. Yeah, I mean, just to give context too, we were harassing Siaha for the whole game, but particularly in the second half, because now he was in front of our section in the second half. Mm-hmm. So it just felt like every time we touched the ball, he was getting jeered at, he was getting booed. It was just constant noise. And it just felt like, being the asshole that he is, I think he was waiting for a moment to just be an asshole again. So when that happened, my initial thought was, I think JJ was play acting a little bit. But then the more I see these replays, it's very clear that there was just a very deliberate, JJ can be kind of a pest sometimes and incite people. I don't think he was doing anything at that point. Like, he just kind of ran up to him, and Siaha had kind of dropped his shoulder and threw an elbow there. And most of our crowd just kind of went nuts, and then obviously just went in to see how it was all going to pan out. And I think we were all very confused when they were just everything just played on, no harm, no foul. Everybody move on while JJ's on the ground, getting attended to by the medical staff. So definitely riled up the crowd and just kind of made us more, loud and rambunctious for the rest of the match.
Yeah, Timmy, what did you think?
I mean, like Andrew said, just the entire intensity, I think, in the stands, like, really ratcheted up to another level in the second half. It's always intense at Hartford, and I think we made good noise in the first half, but like having Siaha right in front of the section for the second half, and there's just a lot more action in the second half.
Yeah,
a lot of it was happening in front of us, but yeah, the intensity definitely went up a level. Yeah, on this play, it was kind of a 2-for-1, because I think people were already worked up about the presumed dive of the Hartford player with JJ chasing down the ball, and then this happens. It's hard to see what happens in real time, and like I even in the replays, I mean, I don't know where he catches JJ. I don't really think it matters that much. It's a foul either way. I think on the broadcast they're saying that the main referee was already tending to the injured Hartford player, so that's why he's not looking. But like you said, there was another referee literally directly in line with this play. Entirely unclear what he was looking at. It's certainly a foul. I personally will still take no VAR, and knowing that this call was wrong on the balance throughout the course of the season, the amount of joy that brings me, not having to worry if a goal is going to stand. I think our players get away every once in a while with a challenge, maybe not something as egregious with this, but I can live with this knowing that it means that there's no VAR in this league, because if there was, this would have been turned over and it would have been a penalty for us.
They would have deliberated on this for 5 minutes, and I'm not convinced that they would have made the right call. Like, especially at this level, I don't trust the VAR referees to make the right call in the end. So all we do is waste time and get more pissed off at the end of it because of it. So
that's funny. I actually really think it's clear. It's like clear as day in a lot of ways. Like I don't know. I think they would have got it right, but the thing that I wrote down when this happened, it's like, it's just really weird that someone who, like, a lot of times, like, there are players who kind of have a bit of like almost like armor around them in terms of like the calls they get. I'm going to bring up Harry Kane when he was at Spurs. He's the England captain. He's the captain of Spurs. He does that undercut thing, almost breaking people's necks, but it's fine because he's the poster boy. He's scoring a lot of goals for the country. That kind of happens. It happens all throughout the world for different people. But like, you kind of get it, right? Like, Harry Kane's kind of like nice to the rest, blah, blah, blah. Siaha's just an asshole. Like, he's just such an asshole all the time. And yet he still gets this like preferential treatment for them. And I have no idea what he's done to deserve this. Whereas at least with like Kane, I understood it because I'm like, oh yeah, he's the England captain. That's what you when you get the armband, you get that like, extra bit from the refs. But Siaha, I have no idea how his reputation allows him to do this, especially when literally on the broadcast, as you heard in our intro, they are referencing him like doing certain emotions that you can go back and look at podcasts about and videos on YouTube, what he did at RIFC last year. And then yet at the end, he still gets away with this, which makes absolutely no sense on planet Earth.
Do you think it's just because he's a keeper? Like, there's got to be a stronger reluctance to punish a keeper because of the implications it has in the game relative to a field player.
But he I think he had the second most yellow cards of all players last season, something like that. I don't have the numbers. I mean, he doesn't not get booked, and that's an incredible amount for a keeper to have. I guess I'll double check how many it actually was, so I'm not giving bad information. But I thought he got like 10 yellow cards last season.
I mean, it feels like against us, like he was doing plenty to earn some stuff and got absolutely nothing. So
I also wonder how much
he got 11 last year, 11 yellow cards.
I also wonder how much that JJ was involved plays into this too, because he just, it takes a lot for something to be called in JJ's favor. Like there was a play somewhere in the second half, obviously second half because it was after he came in, where he was in the box and the ball wasn't in the box yet. It was like waiting to be sent in, and he got fucking mugged, like elbows to the face. The problem is when that's happening and he's fighting for position and he's getting harassed, he has to like continue to fight. And then because that's kind of been going on, the referee looks over and sees him as being the aggressor, and he never gets those calls, depending when they go against him. And he also has a little bit of embellishment to his game too. So I'm wondering how much of it is just the JJ factor, the fact that he's a big guy, the fact that he's always involved in these scraps, and the fact that he does tend to embellish a little bit. Like, does he just not get the benefit of the doubt when these things do happen?
No, absolutely. But, one thing about it, you said the crowd got fired up. I also think I think this kind of happened before this happened, but RIFC really, to me, in the second half, were the ones putting all the pressure on Hartford. I mean, the word spillage was actually used on television, which I know my good friend Matt Kerwin was just in love with happening at the national level here. But we were just absolutely peppering them. And then with like the elements, it was a really gross night. And again, shout out to every single person who was there live. Like, there was a lot of opportunities with kind of the ball bouncing around, ball not being caught cleanly. I was convinced that we were going to score on kind of one of these, quick ricochets or something kind of going on in the box. So, I mean, Andrew, did you think with that second half, did you think we were going to kind of bring it home?
It felt that way. Even looking back at the highlights today, like the highlight package that was 9 minutes long or something, almost the entirety of the second half, except for maybe the very end when they had that free kick, were just RAFC highlights that all kind of really started after the momentum changed with the substitutions that we were making. So while the first half felt like a stalemate, the second half really felt like RFC is exerting themselves. And I think if that game had gone, if we had to play an extra 30 minutes before PKs, I think we would have scored, because it just felt like we were getting closer and closer and wearing down Hartford, and they didn't have answers. Like, we were able to improve our team with our substitutions. Hartford didn't have that benefit.
Yeah, Timmy, how about you?
Yeah, I mostly agree. I mean, I think from basically 70 to minute 90 is like really when the game kind of came alive for both teams. Hartford had one or two chances. I don't think they had as many as we did, but yeah, I mean, I think the combination of that kind of refreshed front four of Leo, JJ, Quizera, who was out there the entire time, and Pity, like, really started creating a lot of chances. Clay was involved, Hugo was involved, Scardino was involved. Like, it was, we had them pretty pinned, I think, for a good 10, 15 minutes, and probably had the balance of it for about 20 minutes. But there weren't as many clear-cut chances when I watched back the second half just a little bit earlier, as I remember in real time. Like, when I was watching it back today, I was like, were we that close to scoring? I don't know. There's no one real chance that stands out to me as like we should have scored.
I think the issue is like what we talked about on the car ride last night. Siaha wasn't forced to make many saves. It's like we were getting chances and just not hitting the net with them, which was part of the issue.
Yeah. There was a couple. I mean, there was a cross from Aldair that pulls him off of his line that he just kind of like smacks down. There was a handful of, I think a couple of them were corners. Maybe another was a free kick, but like JJ just kind of heads something down into the box, and it just happened that a Hartford player got to it first. But there was just no like clear cut shots or like you're saying saves that really like stand out in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's almost as if like there are certain types of chances that categorize in a specific way via data, statistics, the eyeball, and they're I think they call them big chances, and there weren't any in this game. It's almost like they're categorized properly. But going to the full-time stats here, so RAFC did edge possession again, 52% to 48. We ended up amassing, this is for the full time, but 20 shots in total for the game, which again, it was pretty even at halftime to their 6. Both teams had 2 shots on target, 0 big chances, like I just said, for either team. Passing accuracy, very similar at 76% for Hartford, 78% for RI, 11 fouls for Hartford, 10 for Rhode Island, and 3 corners for Hartford to Rhode Island 6. Again, those corners, and again, the pressure just really ramped up in the second half where RAFC really did well. And the man of the match for the full-time was Koke Vegas with a 7.8 on FOTMob. He had 3. I don't know. He didn't have 3 saves. He had 2 saves. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so this potentially is bleeding over when I pulled these numbers. But yeah, I mean, overall, full-time, I think RAFC were the better team here. But as we know, because this is like this, the Prinx Tire Cup or Jägermeister Cup, whichever one you want to acknowledge, it does go to penalty kicks. And I thought these were fascinating. There's been a lot of penalty kick talk in RAFC land. It's something that we've seen some big moments in either direction for this team. Last year in this Cup, we saw us losing PKs to Hartford. We saw us losing PKs to Sacramento. We saw us beat Charleston in PKs in the playoffs. And then last night, we actually in the Revs the other night, we saw us lose the PKs there. So there's been a lot of PK talk in RIFC land, including with the people asking, do we even practice them? Which Kano did say that they do. So in penalties, we did see RIFC win this to get the extra point. Hartford went out first, which I thought was fascinating that, we won the toss. So we actually got to kick at Defiance's end. So I guess before we get into the literal takes themselves, like what was the vibe when the penalties started?
I mean, well, as has already been called out in the chat, I guess I never feel strongly about anything, but like how could you possibly feel confident going into that penalty shootout with the history that this team has as a fan in the stands? How could you feel confident about that? I don't see how you could. I did not feel confident. How did you feel? Good, Andrew?
No. I said before the game ended that I don't feel good at all about going to penalty kick. Even understanding what Seattle's latest history has been, just knowing what we've been doing in penalty kicks as of late, and what happened just as recently as last week, I had no confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could. Like, I really don't know how you could, because like the Revs ones, it wasn't. There was a lot of talk about like, was it their keeper making great saves, or was it like our PK? I thought it was our PKs. They just were not very good.
I fully agree. I was talking to my dad, or I think it was my dad. He was just like, the goalie saved them. I was like, yeah, but they were shit penalties. Like they weren't well taken penalties. They didn't give themselves a good chance to score those.
No, and quite frankly, we'll talk about who took penalties for Round FC. I think there were some adjustments after that. We do have an interesting one from the chat here from Goots Got Milk. Oh boy. Thoughts of Koke taking a PK in a shootout? Timmy, would you like to see Koke?
I would all be for it. Honestly, I would. Like it obviously this is skipping ahead, but sure. I had a weird sense of confidence when Yao was stepping up. There's something about not our attacking players, guys that you don't expect to be taking them. And Koke, like I'd have full confidence in Koke taking the penalty. I'd have no problems with that whatsoever.
I mean, I will, as it relates to Yao, like there's a clear moment that I'm sure we're about to talk about where all the momentum in this shootout changed. I'm up for Koke taking one. Like if it was a situation like last night where it isn't to lose but it's to win, I'd be perfectly fine with Koke taking it. Does that make sense? So when we already know that if we know he's stepping up to the spot with the chance to win the game, go for it, please. I would love that.
Some of us believe in our keeper and our captain here, Timmy, but we will go into the penalties themselves.
Can I just stop really quick for just a couple of quick points because you're asking about the vibe. What was interesting is I don't think we saw maybe what the first coin toss was, because I didn't think that they had gotten to the point where they were doing it. And over the speaker, they said it was going to be at the north side or the north goal. And all of us were looking around being like, which way is north? I took out my phone. I opened up Google Maps and I was just like, this way. It's on our side. So like I think we were pumped when we realized it was on our side. And then we saw their supporters group leaving their section because they were on the other end and heading down. So that was really cool. And the other thing that I thought was hilarious was that there were a number of people that got up and left the stadium. And if you recall from being there in the past, Ryan, where we're stationed in that corner of the stadium, it's right near the entrance / exit. So people were leaving, and there were kids giving us the bird on the way out, like harassing us, thinking it's hilarious. Keep in mind, it was 0. It was a scoreless game. So they were harassing us like, oh, good job, guys. You couldn't beat us when it was 0-0. And then we were all just
they learned from Siaha.
We're not done. Like there's still more. You guys should stay.
Well, I'm glad the children of Hartford do not ever disappoint. But in this one, yes, absolutely. We did see Dispay started off with a goal for Hartford. Giap for Rhode Island then went next and hit. So then next up was, I think, the real moment, which you were talking about in terms of the momentum swing. So Coffee, who is a striker for Hartford, went up, took his PK, awful PK. Koke saves it, but they call it back because they said that Koke kind of jumped his line a little early. He takes it again and probably has an even worse PK the second time, and Koke saves it, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, Hugo then steps up and misses his, which didn't allow us to capitalize. Hartford hits again. Pity steps up, absolutely crushes his. It was perfect. And again, Hartford hits. Then Nikki Scardina sneaks one by Siaha, which was unbelievable. And then Cariaga hits one. I think it's still traveling over the Hartford concession stands and bathrooms. It was unbelievable how
The Artemis 3.
Well, it's what, yeah, that's awesome. That might be the episode title there, but it's really crazy. Like, I was like, how do you get it that high from so close to the net? But he absolutely smokes it over the net. And then none other than Karifa steps up and slots it home, sends the keeper the opposite direction. You guys kind of alluded to this. Were any of you surprised? I guess, Timmy, were you surprised Karifa was at number 5?
Incredibly, but in hindsight, I kind of understand it because who else did we have who hadn't missed 2 weeks ago against the Revs? Like, our forwards just don't have a great record in these. So,
well, I mean, Andrew, were you shocked that no JJ?
A little bit, and I had this conversation today with my family. The fact that he didn't take one last week when he was on a hat trick, so he turned that down or didn't fight for it, and then he's not in this one, 100% tells me he's pulled himself out because of lack of confidence in taking them. Like, how would you not step up there? I mean, look at this list. 4 out of the 5 are defenders or defensive players. So the fact that he's not taking them when he's relatively fresh, like someone made a comment earlier, I think it was Joe Burns, about it's easier to take him after 90 than it is 120, which is true. But many of the people who took him after the Revs did not play 120. They came in the second half. Yep. And JJ was relatively fresh here too. So I think there's a major lack of confidence from JJ's end. So I was surprised that he didn't take one, but now I think it's painting a broader picture of, like, I don't know that he's in the right headspace to take him. Like, that's my feeling, seeing him pass up a hat trick and then not participate in these.
So Timmy, I would love your perspective on this. I think this is interesting because I think I wouldn't have agreed with you last week with this. Because I thought the PK last game I thought was a very weird. On the broadcast, it was very strange about like who wanted it. Like, it seemed like both JJ, Busy, and Leo all wanted to take it, and it was kind of like a little bit of like neither of them are all happy with each other, but we're all going to be like, happy for the team type thing. But Timmy, do you think there might be a confidence issue there?
I don't think so. To me, there are two separate things. Like, taking a one-off penalty kick in the run of the game, which JJ is perfect 3 for 3 on. That's why I was surprised he didn't take it last week, because he's been perfect in game and he was on a hat trick. But maybe this is ignorant on my part, but like, I almost don't even view those as the same thing. So I don't see that really as connected at all to his penalty taking in a penalty shootout, which his record with us is bad.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with him.
It's like, I didn't question it at all last week, but the fact that he's not taking one now,
it
makes me wonder. Like, how can you not look at that and say he missed one? He didn't take the one in the game last week, and he did not taking one in the penalty shootout this week. Like, something's going on. Like, look at this list. Yeah. It's not like you have a bunch of other attackers. You have 4 defensive players there.
Yeah, I mean, you literally could argue it's 3 center backs and a right back, and then attacking midfielder here. The one someone brought up in the chat, I think it was Matt. I think the craziest one is like we've never seen Clay take one of these, and I think Clay is like one of the best ball strikers I've seen. Like, in the fact that he has never taken one, I think is wild. So obviously, again, we hear that they practice these a lot. I have no doubt about that. So I'm sure there is something about practice that is informing this. But hey, at the end of the day, we won this one and we hit 4 out of 5. So we should stop dooming as a.
I have to add on the double save, like the way that it played out in real time. I just feel like this is worth sharing. Keeping in mind, like, it's very hard to hear like whistle and whatnot from the stands. And you probably couldn't hear it on TV either. But the way that it played out from there, so there was. Like Andrew said, the Hartford supporters group came down behind the goal. This group of like 6 obnoxious Hartford youths, or as Tyler Dion called them, fatherless urchins, came to like our side of the stand. So what? So Dispe makes his. They're all giving it to us, flipping us off, just being complete degenerate children. We had already been reprimanded for flipping off children. So when Diop scores his, we're all just giving them thumbs up like this. And then, so first penalty goes, Koke saves it. We're all giving it to the kids again. And I couldn't hear anything. And all of a sudden, those 6 kids just start screaming and jumping up and down, so happy. And I'm like, what are they doing? What is happening? And that's how I realized that they had called back the penalty and we're going to give it to him again. So at that moment, thought it was over. Unbelievable when Koke saved the second one. Like, some of the best scenes I can remember seeing. He gets up, and you can see it on the broadcast, turns around and like roars at the supporter section. It was truly special. So at that moment, I felt like we had a pretty good shot in that.
He
Saving 2 in a row is just, you don't see it
before, during, and after. Like, as the first one was getting taken, he was like, looking at us, riling us up. During it, he was doing a great job with his teammates too. Like, he was wiping down the ball, making sure it was nice and dry before handing it off to the PK taker, and then afterwards, obviously, he was tremendous with the crowd too. So he's got the finger on the pulse for this fan group, and it's fun to watch him operate.
Absolutely, boys. So before we get to the socials, any last words about the trip to Hartford or the match itself? Andrew, we'll start with you.
It was a fun night. I mean, another topic of conversation that Tim and I were having, where after the game, or once it ended, it was just scenes. Like, the Cruzero was coming up there, pumping his fist in the air. Koke was going nuts. The place was going wild. People were throwing beers and shit up in the air. Like, it was just such a fun moment. And just to have all that while the place around us is clearing out, and we're able to wave goodbye at them, because we're contained in our space until everything else clears out. There was a guy near those degenerate kids who was doing something to try to rile us up, like pointing at his hat. We couldn't even figure out what it was. So we were giving it back to him and all the stuff. And this other buddy of his shows up and took massive offense to me and others doing that to him, to the point where, like, he had to be held back by his family. And then the cops had to come and escort him out. So, like, that whole vibe was just incredible for that entire, 5 to 10 minutes after the match ended. And I was talking to Timmy on the way home, and I was like, if you rank kind of the top moments that we've had as spectators going to watch our team, a lot of road trips were definitely up there. I said a lot of good moments at home, to which you respond, really, a lot of good moments at home? I said there are some. And I was just like, I think this is like a top 5 moment, at least for me, as a fan of this team following along. And it's coming off of the back of one of the lowest moments that I had, if you recall our funeral podcast last year, and how upset I was at the performance that they put in when they lost 3-0, and the fact that no one showed face outside of Koke to come to see the fans. Like, you just couldn't be on more opposite ends of the spectrum. So it was just such a fun day, fun moment, and the group that was there really brought it. And I feel like we're ratcheting up the intensity every single time we're going to that place, like more and more every match. So it was just a fun night.
Timmy?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. As for that incredibly classy individual who was trying to fight all 75 of us while being restrained by his wife and children, I'm just worried. Do you think something happened to him? Because he said he'd be waiting for us outside, and I didn't see him as we walked back. So I'm just a little concerned.
I just want to make sure he's okay. To go outside. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that is actually the head of one of their supporters groups. So definitely, as we saw for RIFC last year, that they'll be sanctioned, I'm sure. Right.
I was going to say the good news for that guy is maybe you'll be allowed back in the stadium. We'll see. But that was a pretty visible offense, and you made a very big fool of yourself. So
I can't tell you how angry he got. He was livid at the fact that we were gesturing at him.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
Besides, great for him. Yeah.
I mean, anytime you can be restrained by your wife and child, it's always a good moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if his wife was there. Definitely his kid was there. So again, classy stuff. I was so impressed with how many we had travel again, because leading up to it, I was deeply concerned. I was way in my head. I was like, there's gonna be like 20 of us. I thought we kind of oversold on the upcoming Portland trip, and and there was some other stuff going on. I don't need to talk through every piece of it, but I was so happy. And as soon as we pulled into the parking lot, it was clear there was going to be a pretty normal sized crowd like we have historically brought to Hartford. So despite all of my worrying about the okay. Yeah, that's all I got. Very, very good showing once again. And I thought like a really special night, kind of highlighting the connection between like the team, the staff, which I think you have a clip that's gonna allude to that, and the fans. So awesome night.
Absolutely. So before we kind of wrap this up with the in focus section, we will go to your thoughts with the RIFC in 3. And as the admin said, good, better, best. We are not doing anything else tonight here. So we will start off quickly on Twitter. So on Twitter here, or X as some of you may call it, we had Tyler Hatch here with RIFC in 3, Koke lifetime contract. Good. Traveling fans embarrassing the fair weather home support. Better, Anthony Siaha has lost 4 of his last 5 penalty shootouts. That's a stat. And if you love stats like that, definitely check out Tyler Hatch with all the work he does for Tide Talk. And his best massive bonus point earned in what could potentially be the group decider. Excellent points there by Tyler. We'll move over to Facebook here. We had Chris Peterson here with rain-soaked win. Siaha. His good, winning in the rain. Better, spilling coffee twice. Best, bathroom jersey stickers. We had Angela Perry here with defense. Scott Morrison had boys look pumped, and Mrs. Pool Party had so effing fun. So shout out to everyone who has contributed on socials. There was nothing on Instagram, and I am going to do my best to try to read through the RIFC Defiance Discord. And if you're not in the Defiance Discord, definitely get in there. It is a great way to talk about all things RIFC with fellow RIFC fans. So we have, all right, we have Leo O here with good spells of offensive pressure, mostly once substitutions has been made. Better, seeing 4 of 5 penalties converted. Best, Koke saving 2 straight penalties from the same player. RIFC in 3, practice paid off. That is excellent. We got Natesky here with in 3, revenge is sweet. His good, Road Warriors, better, better, rain equals win. Best, penalties, Koke blocks. We have Dave Audette here with good, Defiant showing up strong in Hartford. Better, PK win on the road. Best, beating Hartford on their home turf. RIFC in 3, Hartford be crying. Tyler has here good, away day. Better, won a shootout. Best, first win at Hartford. Wow, I did not think about that. Tyler had a bonus. His bad, Hartford fans. Ugly, Hartford, generally speaking. His RIFC in 3, and I'm sorry if you have children in the car. If you want to skip 5 seconds, get fucked, Siaha. Next up, we had a bunch of conversations about Timmy's player ratings, as they always are. We got Taris here with good, another clean sheet. Better, we want a shootout. Best, the traveling fans were electric the whole game. Happy to be part of something special. I love that, Taris. RIFC in 3, on to Birmingham. Andrew Gomes has in 3, in the words of the Iron Sheik. Again, sorry if you have kids, skip 5 seconds. Fuck the Hartford. We got Joe Burns here with in 3, Siaha licks tires. What a image this is. Also in 3, nose over toes. It's 12 yards. They call me Gator here with good. The first string offense continues to look dominant. Better, even the refs couldn't hold RFC back. Best, Siaha. Oh my God. Again, skip probably. Siaha was penetrated so hard that the whole state might be pregnant. God. All right, we got Matt Jean here with good. The rotation worked well and held Hartford starters to another scoreless game. Better Koke with 2 big saves on the same PK. Best, taking another win against Hartford. Now time to do it in the next 2 games that matter. Bonus best, watching a lot of Hartford quote-unquote fans leave at halftime. His ugly, again, a bonus ugly. One of the heads of the Raza Brava trying to fight 75 cheering fans and having to have 4 police escort him out. RIFC in 3, just keep wanking. We got the real Pawtucket J here in 3, real fan support. And we got Andrew Milko here with good, Hartford loss, better, all right, Rhode Island win, best, perfectly practiced penalties in 3. Who's shushing now? Thank you, as always, to everybody who sent in their post-game reactions. We absolutely love doing this. As you can see, I absolutely get a kick out of it. Usually I mute myself in this section because I find it so funny, but excellent work. We have a lot of very creative people in our community, as you all can see. But quickly on the in focus section here before we get you out of here. First up, the Prinx Tire standing. So we are in Group 5 with Brooklyn, Westchester, Rhode Island, Portland Hearts of Pine, Hartford Athletic, and the New York Cosmos. We are currently in third. We are tied with Westchester on 2 points. We have actually similar goal differential. They just
Yeah, this is insane. I noticed that they were doing this earlier. They included or they used the penalty shootout results
as a goal
in the goal differential.
Oh, this is a nightmare. All right, so we are tied for second on 2 points with Westchester. Goal differential is a mess. Brooklyn FC with our pals Jackson Lee and Gabby Alves are in first place on 3. And then we have Portland Hearts of Pine and Hartford on 1, and New York Cosmos on 0. So again, as many have said, like this really, it's going to be kind of win all the games, or probably not advance out of the group stage here. So, a lot to play for here. We do play kind of, I would say, the majority of the tougher teams in this group. We definitely are going to Portland, as many people have mentioned. We have Brooklyn at home, and then we do have Westchester at home as well. So it should be an interesting group. I mean, I'm super jacked up for the Portland trip. I will be there, folks, and I'm super excited about that. So a lot more to come. And, to really wrap up the In Focus tonight, again, the vibes are awesome. And we had Matt Del Greco here from the RIFC team on the broadcast, kind of giving the crowd the sad eyes. And I have probably played this clip. This clip has gone triple platinum in the Healy household today. But Andrew, again, like anything to wrap up on the away day, on the vibes, on how phenomenal this video is.
That is so good. You were sharing it in the Discord. So I was walking back to the car last night and I was seeing that. So it was, I didn't understand the full context of it, but seeing that again today, absolutely incredible. And I will say, and Timmy brought this up even last night, it's very clear that the staff on the Rhode Island club, like the trainers and stuff, they all were maybe not participating in our lewd behavior, but they very much enjoyed it. There seems to be like a genuine dislike of at least Siaha, if not for Hartford as a whole, from the staff that are there. The players were lapping it up. Like at the beginning of the second half, we were just going at Siaha, and they were doing their warm ups and they were laughing and enjoying it too. So it definitely feels like this is not just a fan driven sentiment against this team and against that particular player. It definitely feels like it's broader than that. So I love to see it. It feels like this is like genuine animosity that's growing at all levels here, and I'm most excited about the fact that this team has some good momentum now. Like it's I haven't felt this good about the team and their current state of form in quite a while. Like I don't know that I ever felt that even in at any point last year. So this is like going back a while. So I'm feeling good. Like we'll see where they go from here, but I think the team is feeling themselves and that they probably feel good about where they're at too.
Yeah, Timmy.
Yeah, not much to add. I mean, I mentioned already, kind of stemming off of this clip, like there was a lot of moments I felt like of genuine engagement, not only between the fans and the players, but also even like the staff, which I feel like is a little more uncommon, like historically, just based on sometimes where we're placed. Like we just don't always have the same kind of access or see them. But like Andrew mentioned, the fellow carrying the water bottles, and I was trying to get his name earlier, but like we were given some good wanker chants to Siaha, and like he was walking by and a sly little turn of the head and he was like pumping it up. Like they were definitely enjoying it, and it just felt like a good night for the connection kind of the entire club, fans, players, staff, technical staff, like front office staff, all of the above. So just very nice night. Very excited for Portland. I think that's going to be a really fun away day. I think we'll have about 2 times as many people there, based on my understanding.
I mean, it's the hottest ticket to get. Like, I had my 2 tickets this whole time, just like hoping I could go, and we are going now, so I'm very excited about it. But I was like, how am I even, if I have to give these tickets away, like how am I going to approach doing that without starting a riot? Because the amount of people who want to go to this game, we probably could have fit another section as well. So
Put
super
it on
excited
the
about
marketplace and mark it up. You can probably get
yeah, that'll be nice.
$1,000
No.
for it.
Yeah. 165 Matt Jean says going to Portland, whereas I think we were thinking about 75 to 80 we had last night. So
which is phenomenal for how awful the weather was and early in the season, like A plus stuff from everyone.
the ticket, we didn't get the ticket link until 2 weeks before the Hartford game, and we still got 80 people there. I was like a very proud fan last night. Well done.
That's absolutely beautiful. So next up, we do have Birmingham next Saturday, and it is Star Wars night, folks. I know Matt Kerwin couldn't be more excited. That's actually why he's off the podcast tonight, because he's preparing his Yoda outfit and his Princess Leia outfit. He's wearing Princess Leia, obviously, for the night itself. So if you are listening, please get those score predictions in the chat for Star Wars night against the Birmingham Legion. Anyone want to go first with their score prediction?
At home, Star Wars night. I'll go.
Well, actually, I'll give you a breather to think about your score prediction with. Do we, Timmy? I'll go to you first on this. Do we see a lightsaber anything at halftime?
I mean, we already know that they're doing a lightsaber giveaway. So
not what I asked.
I know. I'm gonna say no on halftime show lightsabers, but I feel like historically minor league teams do have like characters at these games. Like this is a really popular minor league sports team theme, and I feel like they have like stormtroopers walking around.
You're using some words I don't like to hear in association with my club, but
well, first of all, no, not even gonna go down that path. I don't want to see stormtroopers, and I fear there might be.
What? Okay, all right. Well, why? We were like, we're gonna cut this one short tonight. Why don't you want to see stormtroopers? I'm fascinated by this. Like you don't want to be like getting in line for a pretzel and a stormtrooper just walks by. Like that'd be awesome.
No, because I'm not at Disney. I'm at a soccer game.
Oh my god! All right, Andrew, do you
I'm also see now, and now I have to address it because Matt Hands is getting active in the chat. The definition of minor league is not the top division. I'm sorry. It is.
You're just saying this down all sorts of paths right now. You were the one that wanted to make sure that we finished this pod in an hour, and now you're just throwing fucking heater after heater after heater, and not expecting us to retort to it.
The Celtics are already up 30, so I don't need to. I got all night.
So to answer your question, I'm good with stormtroopers and fun as long as it's not happening during the 90 minutes or like while there's action on the field. Halftime, before, after, even in the concessions, I don't really care about that as much.
Yeah, I hope there's some stormtroopers in a Yoda and a baby Yoda, like all in the kids area, that they're all having fun over there, Timmy. Like there's a lot. I hope that people are having a great time. I also, if I don't see Chip with a lightsaber at halftime fighting someone or something, I will be very disappointed. So all in all, 0 out of 10 for Mr. Player Ratings, Timmy Sclafani, and that's on the Timmy scale. I want to be clear. That's on the Hartford Timmy scale.
The lowest of the low.
Yeah, I cannot believe this. Yeah, as multiple people in the chat are saying, boot him, which is I've never even got that on this show. That's unbelievable. But now we will get to the whole. I was filibustering, so you can go with a score prediction. So I can't wait to hear this one. Timmy, I'm going to you first with all of your nonsense you just spouted.
I mean, do I just quadruple down and be the ultimate heel and just go with what I think the score might be? Birmingham has been in pretty good form last few games. And I think we're going to have a pretty good crowd. I'm going to go 0-0.
Oh my God. All right, Andrew, what do you got? Yes.
I have two score predictions. My baseline is 2-0 RRC win. But if Matt Kerwin shows up dressed as Padme, 5-0.
Which Padme outfit?
You know exactly which Padme outfit.
I do know
what I'm talking about.
The one that Disney wouldn't show this week.
Yes, that's the one. So he'll get the boys going if he's wearing that in 116.
Well, wait. So what's the score if he does?
5-0.
5-0. Before I get to mine, we do have Tyler Dion in the chat with 3-1. I will say, if you ever post a positive score, I'm just going to assume you're saying RIFC. We got Nate Ski with 4-0. I absolutely love it. We got some 0 in the 10s for Timmy in the chat, which is correct. A lot of boot Timmy in the chat. And then no other score predictions. Thanks, guys. I am going to go with 3-0 RFC. I think we're just going to keep it rolling. I think we're better than Birmingham. I think the defense is kind of locked in. I think we got out of that game unscathed, and I think we kind of have all the options available and the depth that we're excited about. We do got Matt Kerwin here with 3-1 tie. Wow, there, hey, me, my guy, 3-1. I was thinking 3-1, but I think 3-0. I think we're getting the donuts as well. And we got Pawtucket J here with 2-0 us. Absolutely. I love the idea of we got some people in the chat saying La Banda should play Cantina music, which is incredible, which would be great. But boys, any last thoughts before we stop this? I'm actually not going to go to Timmy. Only Andrew can answer it. Timmy's dug himself enough here.
My final thought is the vibes are fun again. Like it's
yes.
After all the dooming, someone said early on, 3 straight happy pods. Like this is good. Enjoy these moments. Don't let Timmy drag you down. This is the fun time to be an RIFC fan. So I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I would actually add uninvited. I would add.
You're lucky I don't know the controls enough to stop you right now.
Yeah, if you're enjoying the team right now, don't let Matt Hands gatekeep it and try to tell you that if you were a little worried after the first 4 games when we scored 2 points out of a possible 12, you can still think that the team is getting on the right track now. That's actually okay. Don't let Matt Hands tell you otherwise. So I agree with you guys. I don't like this spotlight camera, but the vibes are good. Undefeated in regulation in April. And I think there's every reason to think that we should have a strong May.
That's beautiful. And this is a huge breaking news from Sarah that they are not currently getting donuts. They're getting pastries from Madrid Bakery in Wayland, which has the best pain chocolat I've ever had, chocolate croissant. If you ever are in Wayland Square in Providence, get a pain chocolat or a chocolate croissant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't know that, and that is my all-time favorite pastry. So now I will make it.
Andrew, it's better. I have been to Paris. It is better than Paris. It is unbelievable.
Oh, shit. All right,
it's because they nail the chocolate ratio. So please go to Koke's favorite bakery in Providence, folks. It is that good. But I am going to wrap up this podcast that we all agreed we'd wrap up 12 minutes ago. But that'll wrap things up for this, folks. Just a reminder that Tie Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. We also have TikTok and Threads, allegedly. Also, definitely have to shout out the blog at TideTalkRI.com, where you can find player ratings, which are questionable at best, pre- and post-match analysis, and our take on the latest RIFC news. I've been your host, Ryan, and a big thank you to the Double Pivot Boys, the Connecticut's Most Wanted, the Wank Brothers, Andrew and Timmy, for joining me tonight. And most importantly, thank you to everyone who joined in a very fun live chat. Very much appreciate you all. And also anyone who supports the work that we do. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the tide.
Up the tide.
The tide.